Hey guys, it's Lisandra.
It's Sean.
And we are the Sean and Lisandra Show. And mine is Gus today because the little pumpkin pie is at home with the grandparents. I wanted to come on here and talk about how we first met and how that kind of played out because Sean kind of gave a little bit away in our intro video, but I feel like we should elaborate a little bit and also talk about how creating this YouTube video has been no joke. Hell, we almost broke up over it. I will elaborate on that in just a second. In 2014, I had been in a relationship and that person broke up with me. And then after we broke up, I was single and Sean had friend requested me and I was like, ooh, this guy's really cute. But I was
mass friend requesting.
I didn't want to really meet anyone. I just kind of wanted to be by myself for a little bit, like kind of like self-reflection, you know, the things we go through after a breakup. And I wanted to self-reflect and just be on my own. This guy rolls around with his beautiful blue eyes.
Yep.
That like made my knees weak. And then, so I accepted the friend request. We didn't talk for a few days and then finally he wrote me. He's like, oh, I really like your pictures. I'm like, oh, thank you.
I don't think I said that.
Yes, you did. I remember everything.
That wasn't part of my playbook.
Oh, yes, you did. So he says something along those lines. And back then, when he friend requested me, I had like these booty pics that I had in, I had it as my profile picture, and that's what he was talking about, the booty pic.
Like, let me ask you this, like, seriously, honestly, like, what girl who just wants to sit and reflect on her feelings after breaking up posts booty pics as her profile picture? Like, give me a break. Let's be real. The last thing she was doing was sitting and reflecting.
So we started talking and then I find out I was living in Orlando at the time and he was living here in Fort Lauderdale, and I was like, I'm not doing the long distance relationship anymore. Screw this. I said, we're just gonna talk like friends and that's it. Well, my ex contacted me and because everything was still so fresh, I was like, oh my god, should I go back? I just was questioning whether I should or should not go back. Long story short, it didn't work out. When he came back into the picture, I contacted Sean. I said, look, I can't talk to you anymore.
She did not contact me. It's a lie, okay? The truth is, we were chatting, okay, and talking about meeting up, whatever, and all of a sudden, one day abruptly, it was like, she messaged me, I can't talk to you. I have a boyfriend. And I'm like, well,
I didn't know what to
for
say.
Yeah, it's very abrupt. So she didn't reach out to me. We were already talking and then just out of the blue, oh, I can't talk to you. I have a boyfriend.
Yeah, well, it was kind of abrupt. I didn't really know what to say, so I just
She could cut this off.
Moving on, we officially break up, done forever. And then a couple weeks later, I get a message from Sean. What'd you say?
I was like, hey, how's the boyfriend thing going?
Exactly like that. Yep. And then I just basically told him the whole story and we just kept on talking and we met up finally early October or late September, and he took me to this beautiful scenic restaurant on Las Olas, which I come to find out years later, that was his stomping grounds to take all the hoes he used to go out with. Okay?
It worked.
But the whole evening, guess what he talked about?
What, politics?
Yes.
Yeah, I talked about
excuse me.
Talked about politics. We talked about like all the stuff that people say you should never talk about that on a first date. But my thing was, I'm like, hey, listen, like if we're ever gonna hang out again, she might as well know the authentic me up front. We didn't just talk about politics though.
No, but it was one of the main topics. We talked about a lot of things and I found that kind of refreshing because usually people on the first date want to just keep it so like prim and proper, yeah, and just very like
the stuff you don't do on a daily basis.
Exactly. At the time, he was a server and I was working in Orlando, banquet serving and bartending. We were just two kids with pipe dreams.
Yep.
After our first date,
it wasn't a first date. It was just.
It was a date.
It was meeting
regardless
up
of what he says.
To make sure that she wasn't a serial killer.
Little did he know, I watch Forensic Files every single night. And then our second date, guess what he does? So he invites me. I was like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go down to Miami this weekend. He's like, okay, cool. My friends invited me to a Halloween party. Do you wanna come? I was like, okay, sure. So I rushed and I got the sexiest freaking Halloween costume because hello.
Again, it wasn't a date. I mean, I said, hey, you wanna go to this party that I'm already invited to, that it's already planned? So she says it was a date and that I was terrible it picking out a date, but how is it a date when you say, hey, come to this party with me?
It was a date. Okay, ladies, you understand. Comment below if you think it was a date. It was a date. So I get to his house and his family is like having like a little get together, which now I know that they always have get togethers. It wasn't like a special event. And they're all in the back, and as I'm coming in, his dad comes out and I'm dressed in a genie, sexy genie outfit thing. His dad goes like this. And his dad's hot. We'll insert a picture right here of his dad. So we go outside and he introduces me to all his friends and all that stuff.
So much class. She shows up in a little lanky genie outfit.
I didn't know I was gonna be meeting them. And I was like, well, if this is not a date, then I don't know what it is, because what girl gets to meet them on the second date? We go to this event and this one over here gets sloshed.
I got hammered.
He got hammered. Like,
so we go to this party, right? And we meet up with some friends at a bar first, and we have just a couple of drinks, and then we go pick up some liquor, and then we go to this party. And this house, not the biggest house, but it's on the water, and it's owned by someone who at least appears to be a wealthy guy. He had, like, this place was decked out in Halloween. You walk in the house and there's smoke flying everywhere. You come in and there's these sexy dressed up nurses handing out shots and like shot girls. Like, it was professionally done party. And then as we're walking through and I get my drinks, and lo and behold, there's a hot tub with bubbles pouring out all of the over the top. But anyway, yeah, you know, I got hit on, which, you know, I can't. So DJ playing, and there's his yacht right outside, and we were able to go on his yacht, and I got photos with, well, they wanted photos with me. So these girls thought I was a famous DJ, and they're like, oh my God, we want a photo. I'm like, sure, why not? Hey, I didn't do anything. I was still respect. Hey, I'm just a nice person. Okay, which,
oh, nice.
Yeah, and when you're Cuban, apparently just being nice and sociable is a dissonance. Okay, but that's another story for later. But I was starting to get hammered, and we all know that when you start to get drunk, you know you're about to go off the cliff and there's no stopping it. So I literally told Lisandra, and I just said, hey, I said, I'm gonna be upfront with you. I am about to get really, really drunk. There's no stopping it. I don't know what's gonna happen because I'm having a lot of fun, and if you never talk to me after tonight, I will totally respect that. And I told her, I was like, if you never ever talk to me, because if I do something stupid tonight, and of course, you know, I knew she wasn't gonna go anywhere. Because she was trying to hunt me down. During that night, we ended up at a club. I spilled my drink on her, and yeah, I was just I was literally a drunk mess the whole night.
Yeah, I don't drink much at all. I can literally count with one hand in my 31 years of life how many times I've been drunk. Doesn't happen very often. And especially because it was our second date, I didn't know anyone there. So it wasn't like I had a girl to like back me up, like if I got a little tipsy or anything like that. So I just said, you know what? I'm not drinking at all. So I was like a prude. I was like in the corner of this party like,
Yeah, and back then my drinking tolerance was really high. I mean, I could go 7, 8 before I even feel anything down.
He came to Orlando because he had an event that he was working at, and then we met up there, and we still had not had, you know, any relations because we can't say the actual word on YouTube. So then he finally comes to Orlando, and that's where we broke the ice. So it was like later into the year, and it took a while. I made him wait.
No, what she says, okay, made me wait is a complete like fabrication. So when she was living in Orlando, I would see her once or twice a month. So she says, well, I'm not like all these other hoes that you've probably been with. I made you wait 3 months. And I'm like, no, I said, get your facts straight. It was 3 nights, okay? I just saw you once every month.
It still counted. It could have happened, okay? So I made him wait. At least in my head, that's how it is. So we finally do the deed, and I'm like, damn. I was like, I don't live there. He doesn't live here. I don't want him to just run off and go or whatever. So I made it my mission that I was gonna move down to Fort Lauderdale and and trap him. I was gonna pee on him.
She wanted to pee on my Facebook too.
Yes.
We go to a club and she's like, tonight we're taking a photo and we're putting it on Facebook. And I'm like, oh damn. I said, well, there goes my freedom. You can see I was very happy that photo was going down. Not that we weren't having a great time, it was just because I was like, oh man.
He felt forced, which I get. Yeah. So I was in college. I was graduating, so I was like, okay, I need to move. I started interviewing for jobs here in Fort Lauderdale, and I found a job, and I was like, okay, I'm moving. So I had a little sit-down chat with Senor Sean here.
Was it the what are we?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Every guy's favorite conversation.
It's like, so, what are we?
Well, she didn't say it like that.
She
was like, what are we? And, you know, she's like, I have so many feelings and thoughts going on in my head.
Yes.
Yes.
And I said, I'm moving here, and if you don't want to be with me, that is fine. I'm still moving here. The point is, I need to know where we stand, because I don't want to come here and just be someone's side chick.
Well,
so
nobody's forcing you to do that.
basically, he was like, well, you don't live here and this and that. And I'm like, but I'm gonna live here. So I got a roommate and I moved here, and then Sean and I finally became official February of 2015.
No,
Trust me, we've been together 5 years. We became official.
Because we became official, not like most people could become official where it's like champagne and everything. And I know I'm just sounding like such the catch right now, but
he was just honest.
She was just like, so, are we together? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, when was our official date? Or when is it? And luckily, it was around Valentine's. We're coming up to Valentine's Day. So she said, we'll just make it February 14th, which is great for me.
For his mind.
Because as you can see, I'm looking down at my phone with other stuff. I have the attention span of a mouse. If she made our official date any other date, I'd forget it every time.
Yeah, so.
And luckily, her birthday is the same birthday as my brother's birthday, so I never forget her birthday.
Seriously. Moving forward, I moved down here. We didn't live together for a really long time, but I was a permanent guest at his house every day. And then Sean, literally, right after I moved here, gets a job where he's traveling from Thursday to Sunday, sometimes even Monday, every single week. I barely got to see him. Like, he finally gets this other job. We moved down to Aventura, finally together. We lived together for the first time. He gets to see that I'm a slob, which he already got it.
I saw that.
He already got it.
The first time you came over one night.
We just started growing and growing and growing, and then we moved to Miami. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. It's always been in the back of my mind and all this stuff, but now we have all this camera equipment and all this like high-tech stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this would be perfect. I need to start a YouTube video. And then the quarantine happened. I was like, oh my god, this is perfect timing because we have all the time in the world. We can't do browse. We can't do much of anything. So we need to do this. I tell Sean, I said, let's start a YouTube channel. And we were first gonna call it Café con Leche because café, leche, coffee, milk.
That's Spanish for like,
coffee.
That's a latte. And,
yeah.
You know, if for those of you who don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Like me.
But you know how to order café con leches. We were gonna name that first, but we're like, you know what? Maybe our American audience or English-speaking audience are not gonna understand what that means, so I just decided to call it the Sean Lisandra Show, plus Gus. I've been wanting to record this for over 2 weeks, but the first time we tried recording, someone wanted to record outside, but outside the light is too harsh, and so we started arguing.
No, I'm sorry, not we. She started arguing. She tried to blame me
because
for the light,
I kept on telling him,
not a professional.
I kept on telling him, let's record inside. Inside is better. Sounds like the leaves ruffling because we're on the intercoastal and the wind is blowing and the leaves are going like this. I wanted somewhere quiet and relaxed, which is inside where there is no one, not even the AC is on. He didn't want to go inside. He kept on fighting me on it. No, we can do it outside and this and that. I was like, I want this to be perfect. I don't want people to be like, I can barely see them, especially Lisandra. She is kind of darker than him. You can probably see him, but you can't see me in the video. And we just got into it. And I was just like, you know what? Screw this. I don't want to do a YouTube video. Let's just go. And I just like turned the Cuban mode on and it was just like done. And I was so mad. Like just thinking about it, just like the Cuban just starts rising. It's like Mercury rising? No, Mercury is nothing. The Cuban rising?
Yeah, the last time she got this mad was when she had blurry vision and thought a bartender was hitting on me just because she took my drink order.
But we'll talk about that in another segment. We went back home, I took off all my makeup, and I was dead set to start my own YouTube channel by myself without Sean. Just Gus and Lisandra, you know? Because I was so livid and I was just gonna be like, you know what, when I get lots of views, Sean's gonna be so jealous, he's gonna wanna be in it. And I was gonna be like, no! Because you didn't want to record inside. I got really mad to the point where Sean thought we were gonna break up.
I didn't really think that.
But I was that mad.
I just told her, I was like, wow, you were like really, you got so mad, I thought you'd probably break up with me.
Yeah, I was that mad. Like, I was not talking to him for the whole day, which is which is a long time for us because we talk.
Which is actually kind of a blessing because it gave me some quiet time because I'm doing a lot of other stuff. Even though we're shut down, I'm still managing the online parts of the business.
And he's studying.
So she was pouting in her room, and you know.
Yeah, but he came in to apologize and to say, oh, you know, I really do want to do this and this and that. And I was like,
no, because I did, but it's over 90 degrees. We've been in quarantine. It's hard to stay motivated when you're stuck inside. Like, I'm used to the waking up every day and working and like feeling great, and you know. I
said to him, are you really 100% invested in our future on YouTube? And I did not feel like he was.
I was like, okay, yes.
So that evening, because I still wasn't sure he was on board, I went and had a conversation with his parents. And they were like, just start it by yourself and leave him out of it and then he'll be jelly. So I thought I was going to do that. But I was like, he is part of my life. I can't do that. I did start making a banner that just said Lisandra.
Yeah, I knew that because she was making that banner on my computer and I saw that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll just let this play out.
But then we talked, we reconciled, and our breakup was short-lived, and now we have the Sean Lisandra channel. And that's how we got to here. But this is just like a quick rundown of our life.
Quick?
And well, it's essentially quick because we could really go in depth. Like, we could have hours and hours and hours of footage.
When I do my segment, mine will be obviously much shorter, much more to the point on this channel.
Whatever. I like talking. It's the Cuban trait in me. That is how we got to here. And now we have this YouTube channel and we want to create content. So I would please love it if you all could let us know what you guys would like us to film. If you'll leave it down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell icon so that you can get notifications of when we post. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are Lisandra
And Sean.